What's up? What's up? James Gray is Ryder. There's a lot of talk right about now about the Anunnaki, fallen angels, the tall whites, the grays, and everything else a little bit in between. One thing I haven't heard is anyone talk about the lizard man. I went searching for him back in 2008. I even got a video about it. It's on my channel, you can check it out. So, I want to mention a couple of things, and I guess you're wondering why have I got this in front of the video like this. It's just something to look at, something that you can focus your attention on. If you're really not trying to focus your attention on me, at least that's something you can look at. That's why it's there. One of the things that I want to put together and say, because I'm not trying to sway anyone's opinion on what they believe in or what they know to be true, but I do want to put some facts out there about something. And this is the fact that I want to put out there. First off, let me put a little more light in the situation, and I may remove the fan because it is messing with the focus quite a bit. Or maybe I'll just add some light to the situation and see what happens. But here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say. Good grief, I got some light going now. Anyway, so here's what I wanted to say. Was this. We think of ourselves as human. And that term human has a little more definition to it than you think. And I'll tell you why. Because we are really an admixture of more than what you think. And I don't know if people pay attention to this type of thing, but if you've ever gotten into, not astronomy, but astrology, you'll recognize clearly, and if you know what I'm talking about, what I'm going to say. But you'll recognize clearly the differences there are with people. And I'll start by saying this. In the zodiac, the Chinese zodiac is the one I want to focus on. Not the American, the Chinese. And there's a reason why there's a separation of the two. And why things are the way they are, and why we're kept dumbed down. And for the other side that focuses on only the what's considered the Chinese zodiac, and then the American zodiac, if you put the two together, it's a much further explanation in depth of who a person is. But I'm not here to talk about the personality traits of what makes a human a human. I'm here to talk about the physical traits. And that's what the Chinese zodiac focuses on. It's a little more to the core, but it doesn't explain the personality differences. The ones that are over here in the western side does that. The ones in the eastern, what's considered east, does the opposite. And we are separated by beliefs and understandings as such. So, with that in mind, I want to tell you that having an admixture, I'll back up. Having an understanding of the Chinese zodiac, and then having an understanding of science. And with all these other things that we're talking about, and the present day things that we are becoming to understand on a more of a broad scale, it's more massive. It's more of an awakening to everything that we're talking about and discussing. You need to understand this. The way that you think of yourself as human is not as simple as you think. There's a admixture that makes us what we are. That's why there are 12 different signs. I'm not talking about the Western signs that we know of. I'm talking about the Eastern. There are 12 different animal signs. With those 12 different animal signs, you will see the characteristics of that person born in the animal year in that person. Let's start with, and this is the way I first started to learn it. It may not be the correct order in which it starts, but this is the way that I learned it when I first started learning back in I think it was, what year was that? I think it was 2017. 2017 when I started studying the Chinese zodiac calendar. Because it just happened to be hanging up and I thought it was intriguing, so I started to pay attention to it. So I began to notice a couple of things. Every person I asked what year they were born, they resembled that animal sign. I'll start with where I learned it. The year of the pig. People that are born in the year of the pig resemble that animal. Their body type resembles the animal. Do not laugh at anything that I'm saying, okay? You need to listen clearly. I'm not trying to be funny. If you think this is funny, then your mind is just going, you're at a loss because you're not paying attention. And it's true what I'm telling you. You'll see it after you watch this video, and if you've never paid attention to things, you will definitely know exactly what type of person, what animal year they were born in just by their physical attributes. People that are born in the year of the pig, their legs are small, the upper body is big. That's the physical characteristics of a person born in the year of the pig. After the pig is the dog. That's right, dog. What are the physical attributes of a person born in the year of the dog? Their back is straight. When they bend over with a straight back. You never see them have an arched back. You never see them curve their back. Their back is straight. That's the year of the dog. And I won't talk about personal characteristics like their personality, because right now I'm just focusing on the animal year that they're born in. Next is the year of the rat. The easiest, no. When a rat has gained weight, and if you've ever seen cartoons, I want your mind a little bit wander. Let it wander a little bit. You've seen cartoons of animated rats that are they're standing up dancing. One I can think of is Shrek, where the little mice were dancing and stuff like that. The physical attributes of what a rat looks like. You see that in a person. Next, the year of the ox, which is what I am. I'm an ox. You will see the physical characteristics of a person that is an ox. Hardworking, and I'm not going off on the personality. I'm actually, because I know myself very well, I'm going to speak on this. Broad shoulders, broad upper body, as if I've worked out, but I haven't, and I don't have to. Very broad shoulders in a V shape. And no matter how much weight we gain, well, I won't talk about weight. Let's just keep it with a normal size, because it's easier to identify a person if they're a normal size person, not overweight. And I know I did that with the pig, but it is something that you notice. A person that's a pig, their legs are usually very skinny. If they're skinny, they're more than skinny than normal, and the body is normally a bigger size upper. So I know I just went back to the pig. So ox, broad shoulders and a V-shaped body. Even the women have broad shoulders and big arms. Now I'm not talking big as in fat. I'm talking just naturally larger shoulders, broad, and for a man, don't even have to work out, but it's just a broad shoulder, and it's just noticeable from the side, you know, have that V shape. Next is rabbit. People that are born in the year of the rabbit, when they walk, they waddle from side to side. You ever notice a person that when they walk, it's like they don't switch their hips and they're constantly like this when they walk? That person is born in the year of the rabbit. The way their body is designed, they don't switch their hips to have a smooth transition when they're walking. It's not a true smooth transition. They shift their weight from left and right, left and right, left and right. That's the person that's born in the year of the rabbit. What's after rabbit? Dragon. You ever seen? Here's the one that I can mention. Remember Aerosmith, the rock star guy, Aerosmith. Remember when he did that video with Run DMC back in the day, and he and I'll give another example to this too. But this is one of the things you can look for that a person that's born in the year of the dragon would do if they're happy. When they happy, they do this type of it's not a dance, but it's more like a trot, almost like a dance, but they're standing on one spot and they're on their feet from left to right, left to right, left to right. Like, you ever seen what's that dragon that's in South America that flares its face outwards and it will chase people? And when it runs with its feet kind of very far apart, but it flares its face outward and it will chase a person. Okay, but it's a type of, it's not a lizard, it looks more like a dragon, but it's small and it'll chase a person just for the hell of it. I don't know why it does it. But anyway, remember when Aerosmith was on stage with Run DMC and he did that little dance before he spun around? He did that little thing he did, you know, on both feet. That's one of the things you see a person that's born in the year of dragon, born in the year of the dragon, will do. He'll do that. For a woman, a woman that's born in the year of the dragon, when she walks, her torso stays straight. Her torso does not sway. It's very, 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 very straight. Very straight. Let's go to the next one. A person that's born in the year of the snake. And I'll use a woman for an example. Their legs are big. And if they tend to gain weight, they sort of gain weight evenly from bottom to top. Big legs. The body is somewhat straight. No big hips. Or there's some women that can have big hips. If it's a black woman, then yeah, big booty. But legs are big, and they seem to carry their weight straight up and down, evenly, straight up and down. As far as a guy, I haven't been paying attention to what a guy looks like that's a snake. Oh, and a person that's a snake, they can bend their body they can have their body either straight or bend it either way. They're kind of flexible in that manner. As far as their back is what I'm trying to say. Next one is, now I've studied this since 2017, but see, I've been paying attention to so many other topics right now. And right now we're talking about aliens. And I do have a point to all this. Next one is Sheep. Yeah, I'm correct. Sheep are kind of, they're kind of rounded body wise. They're just very rounded. Rounded shoulders, rounded bodies, sort of rounded. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe sheep. Monkey. This is kind of go into personality a little bit when it comes to monkey, because they let their personality show more than a body type. But I will say this: a woman that's monkey, that's born in the year of the monkey. I'm not calling nobody that. That's born in the year of the monkey. You ever seen women on the beach that tend to lean forward when they walk? That one. For a guy, like I said, I haven't paid much attention to the body features of a guy that's born in the year of the monkey. But the personality trait shows more. They're the life of the party. They're the life of the party. Men or women, they're the life of the party. Next is rooster. You know, I just realized no, I didn't. Keep going. Rooster is the next one. Roosters are the people that they have an arch in their back. Women that have an arch in their back, and I mean an extreme arch to the point where their legs are like this and their body is this way, and they look like two bodies in one, which is fascinating. That's the rooster. And one of the, I don't want to go with personality traits, but I kind of have to because I did that with monkey, but it stands out a lot. They love to be first at everything. If a person passes you on the highway and they just get one position in front of you, like if you're on the interstate driving and they have to get that one position in front of you and they don't get no further than that one car position, and there's a big long, that's a rooster. That's just the way they are, trying not to get too angry. They're a rooster. The rooster likes to point too, like a child, like to point all the time. Watch out for that. The roosters like to point directly at you when they're talking, or if they're happy, or they're pointing out, or if you say something that they're surprised about. And it's kind of an old school thing to me. It's very annoying. Okay, next is from rooster. Yeah, I think I did mix something up, because it's supposed to be pig, rat, then ox. I think dog is next. Exactly right. So I'm sorry I mixed something up, because it's been a while since I went through the wheel of explaining all this. When I first mentioned pig, okay, this is really bad to be screwing this up on this video like this, really bad. When I mentioned pig, next is rat, and then ox. You know, I missed one entirely, and that's tiger. Tiger, I missed tiger entirely. And I should have wrote these down. I'm sorry about that. It starts with pig, rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, sheep, monkey, rooster, then dog. How did I mess that up? So you remember everything I just said. I just had the order wrong the first time. Dog, and then it goes back to pig. So dog is the one. I already described dog, and I had the wrong position of it. I'm sorry about that. I'm sure somebody's gonna say that in the comment section, that I should have wrote it down and should have got it right the first time, but I just explained it. And you can, like I said, you can recognize the personality trait of a dog. Not personality, but the body type. So where am I going with this? When you call yourself human, there may not be, you may not be as simple as you think. there are 12 different body types. And those 12 different body types resemble an animal. An animal. Think about that. Our body type resembles that of an animal. So everyone's talking about the Anunnaki, and some people are saying or commenting that they created humans. You got to wonder, why is it that we call ourselves humans? Why are us humans resembling 12 different animal body types? Why? And one that's not even an animal, it's a reptile, a snake. Does that make anyone wonder what's going on? Now, I know those that are religious, you got a lot of things to say, but you got to kind of just think clearly. I'm not trying to make you believe anything, but just look at things. And I haven't seen a video ever since I've been on the internet. I've heard people go through this, but they were talking in a particular topic only about the zodiac signs. Only. They never put two and two together. That I've never seen a video of someone speaking like me and saying that, hey, the body types you see on this chart, there are people in the world that resemble these body types, all 12 different ones. And next time you go to Walmart, you can eyeball, oh, there goes a rat, there goes a rooster, there goes a tiger. What's the tigers are tiger? I didn't describe tiger. A tiger is a little bit difficult to spot. There'll be none of the others. And tiger. Don't confuse tiger with a lion and thinking Leo, because they're not the same. A tiger is now I'm going off of experience of people I've worked with in the past 20 years. I'm going off that experience. And that's probably when I have to describe their personality as. Happy go giddy. Which almost sounds like monkey, but they're not exactly the life of the party. Their body type is somewhat, that doesn't stand out. It's different from all others. So that's one way you can recognize. They will not look like any of the other 11 body types, period. They won't. I can think of a person, I do remember a person that's a tiger that I used to talk to, and this is when I was studying different body types and studying the personality characteristics of that person in all different ways. I studied this stuff for quite a while. I studied enough to the point where I can identify people when I see them. That's my reason for studying them, so that I could identify these people when I see them. And it made sense to me, because there was a time in my life that I didn't give two shits about why people did what they did and why people act the way they do, and they're just crazy. I just labeled them as crazy, labeled them as something's wrong with them. Why they're acting out, showing out. Why is everybody in a group laughing about something that's not really funny? That's weird. And I just got to the point where, let me understand why this person's doing this, why that person's doing that. But that's another topic. So let's get back to the Anunnaki thing. If we think of ourselves as simple as a human, why do we have 12 different animal body types? Actually 11, and one's a reptile. Why? Think about that. Why? And we exhibit those characteristics of that body type in some way. Pigs are a little bit snappy, quick to anger, don't really get along with other pigs too well, I can tell you that much. And a little bit selfish and a little bit greedy. What's greedy? A pig. A rat, quick to anger. A pig is a person that will, not a person, not a pig. And I'm going into this. I said I wasn't going to, but it'll make more sense. And I'll come back to the question of why. Rat. They may seclude themselves in a place that you wouldn't normally seclude yourself. They may go off in a corner somewhere, be to themselves for a moment in a place that you would kind of not want to kind of be if you're just, wanting to be by yourself. Some people like to be out in the open with other people. The one person that's the rat might be in the corner or something like that, or behind a petition someplace. Ox. We think of ourselves as, okay, very peaceful, easy to get along with, easy going. If I'm walking and there's a corner, like the wall right there, if I don't dodge it, it better move out my way. Okay, that kind of thing. And I try not to do that with people. If you ever pass by me sometime and I seem like I don't try to move, I'm like that Will Smith Hancock. That's just. But anyway, there's other characteristics that go with that are not forceful or anything like that. Tiger, like I said, seems to be not the life of the party, but giddy, go-y kind of a person. So I'm going back to the question of why. Why do humans have these 11 different animal types in one reptile? Why? Why were those chosen? How are we mixed into that? Do animals exist? Did they exist? I'll throw one at you. And that's something I thought about ever since I started studying this. Do those animals exist as sort of a test, like a program for the Matrix? I won't say Matrix. I won't say that because the Matrix I don't think existed far back before we ever knew what the Matrix was. That's something I think is more of a modern understanding. But in the universe of things, the grand scheme of things, the total programming of life as we know it is, and the answer to this question is yes. Is this, the animals that exist, a kind of a training ground? Is Earth a training ground for all these animals and the one reptile? And it was chosen that the reptile, that the human would have, that there would be humans that were born in this particular year would have characteristics and body characteristics and a little bit of personality traits of a snake, of a pig, of an ox, of a rooster. That they would have these traits and features of that animal. How did that happen? How did that happen? Taking religion out of the question. How did it happen? There's got to be a cosmic balance to all of this. A cosmic balance as to why we exhibit these traits, these differences that we have. There's got to be a cosmic balance to it. So, who did it? You're going to say God. I know you're going to say God. Yes. Our definition of God is an almighty creator of everything. But what if our God, being who we are, what if we're not as simple as we think we are as human? What if we are the mixture of the sum of other things that existed before us to make us who we know as us now? What if we're a mixture? What if we're a mixture of these things that we know of? We certainly have the body types of all these different characteristics that we look like. Ox, big shoulders, in the V shape. Rooster, a dragon. You got to think. So when we start thinking about the Anunnaki, we start talking about the Anunnaki. Some people say they created us. I kind of tend to believe that, yes, I say there is a God. If there's a God above a God, I wouldn't really say that they are gods, but they could be, they could be, they could have, I'll put it this way, they could have been responsible for us being the way we are. They could have been responsible for us being the way we are, because we have different body types. And you can't deny that. You cannot for 1 second deny that we have different body types that resemble animals. You can't argue with that. And one reptile. And if there's anybody out there that looks any bit different than us 12 body types, yeah, you considered alien, all right. And I have seen that on the internet, where there was one particular person that had no resemblance to any of the 11 and the 12th body type. None. And that was kind of shocking. So that's all I wanted to mention here. I hope you kind of stayed and watched this video. I've certainly made it interesting, I hope. And I know I'm looking all left and right and everything. Darn, it's just the light so blinding, that's all. It's like, anyway, so I'll let you get back to some other videos and see what's out there. And if you want to comment on this video, you can. And tell me what you think, what you believe in, what you have read, what you've heard, all those things, what you've heard, what you've read. And I guess I'll move this now. I don't know. This thing lasts a long time. You got to get one of these. Got to get one. That's the one that's got the AC on it, but it runs the battery out pretty fast. Does it get cold? Yes, it gets cold. And it's got the this my little promo. Anyway, if you have it on the lowest setting, it lasts longer than you think it will. You fall asleep, wake up, it's still on. But anyway, James Gray is Rider. I just wanted to put this out there and have everyone thinking about this, because if the Anunnaki is coming back, and they're coming back to straighten things out, because one race of people on this planet has been doing too much. You've been doing too much. They've been doing too much. And there's this nuclear waste in the ground that's going to be there for 1,000 years. They want to go to the moon and start digging it up. Don't do that. Cosmic law violation. Don't do that. I think that's happened already with Mars and its moon. Because if you do a little research, one of Mars's moons has holes dug in it that are unbelievable and unmistakable. That, yeah, it's been mined. It's been mined to death. That's probably led to all the instability magnetic-wise that's happened on Mars, and the loss of the atmosphere and all kinds of other stuff. Okay? It's like somebody just went buck wild on Mars and just gobbled up all the resources and didn't stop. Didn't have any two cares in the world and destroyed the whole entire ecosystem. So I'll go ahead and stop this video. It's getting kind of long. James Gray is Rider. What's up? What's up?